Here's the newest release for Pocket Space RPG Horror. So what I've got is a 2-page, once again, much like Robots, that has a task role-based horror resolution. And it's fairly easy. I've got some examples here of hard task role difficulties, such as seeing an inanimate object move on its own, or seeing a dead body, observing a crew member mentally controlled by an alien life form. So that would be a 2+. So I'm okay, all right? I can deal with that. My head's all right. And let's say I failed it and I rolled a 1. Well, I'm going to be stunned. I'm going to freeze up, or I'm going to scream uncontrollably for a round of combat. In essence, it's just going to make you not be able to do anything except defense action rules. And the next time I'm able to act on the next round, I can try again. And so, look, I failed it again. So, man, seeing a dead body really messed me up, maybe. Or I heard the vocal growl of an alien monster. And so so I wouldn't be able to act. I can only defend myself. And then I guess this has really messed me up. I rolled 3 ones in a row. And then 4 ones in a row. I'm just locked down, okay? People are probably having to grab me and take me somewhere. Okay, yeah, so I'm just completely shut down. And then finally I break out of my problem here in my brain, and I'm able to continue on. So you've got simple, average, tough, and very difficult. Very difficult would be something just absolutely, truly horrific. And it's probably not going to happen too often. But these here, these are going to be ones that you're going to roll a bunch. So it's going to be different things. Like a tough one would be being startled by an alien monster that is much larger than a human. And it comes around the corner, or a big bay door opens up and there it is. Oh, I've got to roll it. Oh, I'm frozen. Okay, he's going to eat my face. So that's how that works. Very kind of simple. It's just going to lock you up. Okay, but then I've got a section here called optional mental damage. So what's going to happen is, when you fail a hard task roll, you might increase future hard task difficulties. The Pocket Master may say, okay, now when you see a dead body, because it shook you up so much, it's now going to be a simple one. And I've made it. And that's great. Oh, I've rolled a 6. I rolled a 6 again. I got a heroic reroll. I don't know what's going on with my rolls right now, but they're crazy. So maybe not only did I, we saw maybe an alien bursting from someone's chest, I was able to, with that 6, rally my other crew members to not let it escape or something like that. And that's what a heroic reroll in that situation might be. But let's say that I did fail it. So I'm going to have 1 less hit point whenever I heal or rest, as I just constantly keep thinking about it, and it keeps me awake. So I don't get restful sleep. And then if I fail 2 or more hard tests before healing the mental damage, I need to roleplay my character a certain way. Jittery, jumpy, maybe prone to emotional outbursts. I might hesitate to enter a situation like that again. And so what I'm trying to do here in this little paragraph is just try to force a little bit of role-playing into the player with their character, and make their character a bit of possibly a hindrance to the rest of the crew. But they're going to get the experience of role-playing their character in a mentally, possibly fragile way, due to the things that they've seen. But luckily for them, they can heal mental damage. One thing is that if they do play their character very well in role-playing, the Pocket Master may decide that they did it so well that they're going to get a heroic reroll, really just a basic reroll for when they try to heal from the mental damage. So it's kind of a reward for the player to play their character in a way that might oppose the actions of the rest of the crew. So when you heal mental damage, all the stuff I try to think about of real life. If you were around a bunch of what I would hope to be friends, and something really scared you, I would hope one of your friends would try to help you and soothe you along so that it doesn't affect you as much anymore. So what's going to happen is another PC is going to need to, out of combat, sit you aside and just say, hey, come on, I know what you saw was tough, but let's get through this. We've got a mission to do. We really need you. And and how well they role play that. Again, I'm trying to kind of make situations, and I think this is where a lot of role-playing games should be, where the players need to role play, and it needs to be beneficial for the game and the rules if they role play their game well. And it's also good as a starting position for people, if this is one of the first role-playing games they play, is to have something that says, try to role play this situation in a good way. So the difficulty is of their charisma roll. They're going to make a charisma roll. So first they'll explain how they're going to soothe over the person that's taken mental damage. And then they'll role play it out. And then the pocket master will say, okay, you did pretty well right there. Or you didn't do too great. You didn't really help in that situation. Maybe you were yelling at them or whatever. So they'll say, okay, it's going to be a 3+. So that character will roll and they didn't do great. So they failed. Okay. So the character will continue to have these issues. But let's say, well, that's not good. Let's say they make it with a 3+. Well, now the person who took the mental damage, they're going to make a wisdom task roll, because that has to do with willpower. They're going to make it at the same difficulty level, and they made it. So now they no longer have increased hard task difficulties. They no longer heal 1 less HP, and they no longer have to roleplay their character in a more mentally damaged and emotional way from what they've seen. So in essence, this right here this is not sanity rules. This is just your mind trying to deal with what it's seen or what it's endured, having your hopefully your companions help you through that mental damage, and you coming out of it, as well as you role playing it correctly as well. Now that's pretty much the main task horror resolution. And I've decided to do something a little bit silly, a little bit different. The alternative is the witch hand horror resolution. So I know many of us have played this. You hold a die in your hand and you hide it behind your back, you mix it up, and then you show somebody. And this is a popular children's game. And I would hope that possibly if you are playing this with maybe some younger people, that you would at least try this example. Because what this is going to do is, this is going to give them just a pretty much, if it's an easier one, it's going to be laughable and simple. You only have to get one win. It's going to kind of make a choice for them. And if they miss it, then it's going to be as if they failed their role. Now, so when you have an average or tough, they have to win 2 out of 3 wins. So right there, so that's going to be average or tough. So a lot of really nasty stuff's going to be average and tough. And so you have to win 2 out of 3. So I'd hope there'd be a moment of, okay, I've won 1, I've lost 1, and now I've really got to make this next win here on a hand of, a game of which hand. So just a little bit of anxiety in order to get through this horror situation. It might seem silly, it might not work for your group, but it may be something. I know it's basic and it is a kind of a child's game, but it could lead to some funny interaction with the rest of the players. As 2 out of 3, you really need to make this one. We need you to make this, score the right one. And again, the Pocket Master can always do their best at maybe trying to make the player flinch or enhance the situation with a little bit of maybe a jump or something like that to kind of get people in the mood. Now, of course, when you have the very difficult one, which is going to be very rare, you've got to win 3 wins straight in a row, okay? And you can use heroic rerolls to get another guess of which hand it's in. So that's the healing mental damage through, that's the alternative witch hand horror resolution. Next is space horror monster characteristics, just a basic D6, there's 3, so the creature is chitinous, so it's got some sort of hard shell, 4 and 3, so it attacks power sources. So it may shut down the power and the lights in a facility, a space station, whatever the case may be. And then we got space horror locations. And so I roll this up, 2 and 6. That's going to be an underground black market. We've got 2 and 6. These rolls, I tell you, 5 and 5 is going to be an alien temple. And at first I was just going to leave it at that, but then I decided, you know what? Let's flesh these out. And what I did was I wrote up location mission hooks for all 36 of them. So it may not be exactly what you want to run in that location, but maybe it'll give you a little bit of an inspiration for what you can do at not only this location, but maybe another location. So at the alien temple, what do we find? We're going to have to, we look here at 5-5, at a celebration for the opening of an alien temple. Dignitaries from many worlds are present, but when some of them become missing, the crew is asked to investigate, which will lead them into the temple and down inside the unknown structure that lies beneath. So just a couple sentences just to try to get you a little bit, spurred on for the night's mission. And then down here, I was able to come up with just a couple of space horror monsters. I didn't want to make it any more than 2 pages. Again, with my same philosophy of black and white. It's 2 pages, easy to print, Don't try to eat up too much of your printer ink, because I do understand that struggle. But just a couple of creatures: crawling monster, an alien-infested being. That could be something, a human or an alien that has been taken over, and they're now stronger, and they've gone berserk. And then a big bug monster, and obviously a lot of space horror for me is taken from the movie Alien and Aliens, as well as 2001: A Space Odyssey, and many, many other movies and TV shows. So there it is, Pocket Space RPG Horror. It's on sale now on DriveThruRPG, and hopefully it'll be a good addition to your Pocket Space RPG game. Thank you very much for everyone that's picked up the game once again, as well as the robots supplement. It's been absolutely amazing how well it's been doing, and I'm very, very appreciative. So thank you very much, and stay tuned to the next release.